Yeah, they taught me that in law school, but I learned that I usually forget my opening statement. So I did write it down this time, because there's a theme that we've been hearing about tonight, and it's teachers and coaches having an impact on us as people and as athletes. But first, I'd like to thank you, Mike, for the introduction. My head is very swelled right now, but I'll humbly come back down to earth. So I'd like to begin by thanking my parents for having me, Chris, and Trina, and for supporting our educational and athletic endeavors at Northwood. I probably would not have attended Northwood if Dill Driscoll had not pulled me off a riding mower on the front lawn of the Holiday Inn and wondered why I hadn't enrolled in August of 1975. Dill paraded me over to Mr. Freelander's office, and it was done. But the Lucy Griffin cruise legacy had already begun with my cousin Diana. She was a bit out of sorts, blending skating, studying away from home, and chasing boys. She needed some guidance, and Northwood and its teachers was the answer. John Kluge, who Reno referenced earlier tonight, was able to connect with Diana and encouraged her to express her varying emotions in writing. Her mind caught up with her buxom, and for those of you who do not take SAT vocab with Reno and Meller, that means curvy body. Her teacher-guided expression flowed into painting, pottery, and skating. Diana, sadly is no longer with us, brought her skating school from Denver to Lake Placid one summer, and her pride in Northwood burst open as she paraded her students through the halls, the classrooms, the dining hall, and the great living room. And it's definitely thanks to the teachers of Northwood who got Diana on the right track. This leads me to declare that Northwood's teachers and coaches are some of the greatest professionals in the world. Chrissy and I had the amazing fortune of having Mademoiselle Proper as our French teacher. Reno referenced her earlier tonight as well. Probst did not speak a word of English in her introductory French class. And when she said, "Asseyez-vous pour un petit quiz," on day 2, I sat down, took the quiz, was promptly awarded a 40 on the following. Après la pluie, le beau temps. So that means after seeing the tears streaming down my cheeks, while hiding in the cubicle next to the classroom seats, Probst put her arm around me and led me to love to learn languages. And I eventually asked my future father-in-law if I could marry his daughter in German. Ich möchte heiraten mit deiner Tochter Martina. Chrissy flourished in French under Mademoiselle Proper, and she majored in it at St. Lawrence, studied French for a year abroad in Neuchâtel, Switzerland, and went on to teach French at the Berkshire School. Probst encouraged baking with French recipes for extra credit, and not only did Chrissy excel in baking for French class, but also when her mom found out she could bake, she promptly made her a pastry chef at the Holiday Inn. Harry Fife taught me biology. Kurt Vinson was one of his students as well. He was demanding, and when Mr. Freelander would not give him, you heard that comment earlier tonight about frugality, give him the money to buy frogs and formaldehyde for our class, he required us to go to Echo Pond and catch our own. I'll admit I couldn't catch one, but my exasperated dad jumped out of the car, crept down the water's edge, snatched an unknowing bystander frog that was promptly dissected the following day by me and my lab partner. Ken Stowe instructed chemistry. A fellow Dartmouth guy. One day we were struggling with compounds and heard a crow cawing. He dashed across the classroom, flung open the window, and started imitating the caw, caw, caw sound. I'll be damned if the crow didn't answer him. And now he had our class's complete attention. I always wondered how my figure skating cousin, Craig, could do more pull-ups than me. Finally dawned on me that as a pair skater, he had to lift his older sister with one arm above his head while twirling her down the ice. He had to be pretty athletic to accomplish that feat, and obviously very fit. But for Craig, trying to fit in at a ski hockey school as a figure skater was tough. And Craig would climb to the tops of trees and drive his Jeep down the head wall of Whitney for attention. Northwood teachers, especially Reno, gave Craig boundaries, guide rails, and the opportunity to interact with Wayne Lewis Hutchinson and Carson Ryan, two of the brightest kids in our school. Craig needed a place to mature away from skating, and Northwood teachers provided structure that enabled Craig to make better decisions. The best decision Craig ever made was marrying Jeanette. And they have produced a legally educated world-class Ironman named Hunter, who's with us tonight, and two professional soccer players in Tyler and Morgan, who's now gone to the coaching career. Trina, she hit Northwood in the post-1980 Olympics with a bunch of overachievers in Reynolds, Richter, Granado, Friedlander, and Grady. She was up for the challenge thanks to a geeky math teacher nicknamed Doc Wu. He was the guy who walked around the pitch with a clipboard taking notes, calculating who had the swiftest shot. Doc Wu pushed Trina to master calculus, and his analytic demeanor resonated so much that she employed his formulas in World Cup aerial skiing while landing an aeronautical engineer from MIT named Rich. One day, Headmaster Good remarked to me, "So, the Lucys don't go to Northwood anymore." And Chrissy promptly butted in and replied, "Well, the Griffins will." Northwood opened its arms to the Griffin kids, and Jill Walker stepped in to serve as Kaylin's advisor. No one cared more for Walker's style is engaging, humorous, and well-structured. Her caring, straight-shooter persona resonated with Kaylin, and it came at a time when Kaylin really needed it. No one cared more for academic and athletic excellence than Guy Middleton. As Kaylin's ski coach, he supported her quest to become a college racer, but also required her attention in the classroom. And after a recent injury, he was there to support her mental and physical rehab. Brother Art followed. And for Art, Mr. Meller, thank goodness he's here tonight, stood out as a master of English. This is a quote: "No two words in the English language share the same meaning. Otherwise, one of them would not exist," taught Meller. Art yearned for these rules and vocabulary, and Meller delivered. The Cruz kids came next, and Kylie led the way. She was frustrated that Roger Loud would not allow calculators in his math class. Now, as an aspiring physician's assistant, Kylie credits her ability to do medical dosing calculations in her head far faster than her fellow students, thanks to Mr. Loud. Mrs. Walker's introduction to biology got Kylie's attention, and Kylie credits Jill for her love for the sciences and a career in medicine. Then there's Lars, the kid who grew up at Northwood, and up did he grow, just like the weeds he had to pick at Tyler Eaton's organic farm. Eaton connected with Lars through canoe trips, tending the crops, and he's the one who got Lars interested in environmental studies, now his major at Oregon. Lars and Coach Jeff Miller, two newbies together at Northwood, hit the ground moving, not really knowing where they were going. It did not take long for both of them to find the right path forward. Miller knew when to push Lars as a player, when to back off during a growth spurt or an academic challenge. Miller gave him belief in his wings to make the Oregon hockey team, and the mental strength and determination to excel in the classroom. No discussion about Northwood can be complete without saying thank you to all the teachers and coaches. Mike Mayer confided that investing in quality teachers and coaches is essential to Northwood's success. But his real genius is recognizing that he has a platinum educator in Steve Reed. Just like Miller to Lars, Mike has given Reno flight in the twilight of his career to travel the world to reconnect with his faraway flock. Reno patiently listens to alums tell their stories. He prods parents for more, and he laughs that indelible We love you, Reno, and we love Northwood and its teachers and coaches. Thank you.